Hey ladies, it's me, Shabri. I'm coming to you guys today with a really quick get ready with me summer makeup look. It's featuring my Morphe 35B palette. So if you'd like to see how I get this look, definitely stay tuned to the video. So of course, as I always start, I'm grooming my brows into place. Next, I'm filling them in with a light brown pencil from my local beauty supply store. If you guys have watched tutorials on my channel, you know I always start from the middle of my brow, work my way to the tail end, and then I'll go back to the front of the brow just to add a little bit of color. And then of course I'm shading that out in the opposite way so I can get that natural gradient effect where it goes from light to dark. So once I filled in my brow, I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up. I'm using Fawn Concealer in a flat angled brush. You're basically just carving out the brow that you like. On top of my brow, I'm also using Fawn Concealer and then Espresso mixed together just to give it a little darker type of color so it's easy to blend on the top of my brow. You want to do this on both brows, just making sure that you're not creating like a whole new brow, but you're, basically following the natural shape of your brow. Or I guess if you want to create a new brow, you can, but I just like to follow my natural shape. And then I'm going in with a really dense blending brush and I'm just blending that concealer out. I'm going to go ahead and set it with some face powder. This is by Black Radiance in the shade Warm Hazelnuts. And I'm just brushing that over the concealer. That way it can set in place. And then it also just helps to blend it out even more as well. So make sure you blend, 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 ladies. Of course, as we all know, that's going to get rid of that halo effect and your brows won't look so 3D-like. So from here, I'm going to go ahead to my eye look. I'm using a NYX base in like a flesh tone shade and just blending that onto my eyelids. I'm going back in with that same Warm Hazelnut shade and just sweeping that into my crease. This will act as my transition color. So here I have my Morphe 35B palette. I'm going in with a hot pink shade in a fluffy blending brush. I'm just going to use that to blend into my crease. Just sweep it into the crease. You don't have to be so neat at this point because once the look is finished, it'll all come together. You can either use windshield wiper motions or like a, circular motions just to sweep that color into your crease. So from there, just make sure everything is blended out to your liking. I added a little bit more color. This Morphe 35B palette, the color payoff is not so great, so you definitely will have to build up your shades when using it. But I'm going in more with a pointed crease brush in this purple shade. I'm going to focus this mainly on my outer V and in my crease. This is just going to deepen the look and add some depth to my eyeshadow look so it's not flat or just like one-dimensional. So again, I'm just focusing this in the outer V and right in like the crease or the socket of my eye. In order to blend this out, I'm going back in with that same brush I used with the pink shade and just blending it up and out. So it's not so harsh, but everything just blends smoothly together. And so from here, to deepen the crease even more, I'm taking the darkest shade in my Naked 3 palette and again, just focusing that on the outer V in the crease of my eye. I believe this is called Black Heart. It's like a black smoky with like pink flecks of glitter in it. So yeah, so from there I'm gonna go ahead with my lid color. I'm using the Naked 3 palette as well in the shade Limit. I'm using an eyeshadow brush. I'm just gonna pack this color onto my lid. You want to make sure you're doing packing motions and not sweeping the color on so you're getting the best payoff possible. And then just to blend everything out, I'm going back in with that same brush I used with the pink shadow. I didn't add any more product, but I'm just blending everything out from here. I'm adding my So Wispy lashes from Kiss onto my eye. And once your lashes are in place, I'm just going to go ahead and start on my face. I'm priming my face with Philips Mickel Magnesia. I mainly get oily in my T-zone, so I'm just focusing that in my T-zone. And then from there, I'm going in with two foundations. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation in the shade 360 Mocha. And then also the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat foundation in the shade Dark Deep. I'm adding this because the 360 Mocha shade is a little too light for me, just a tad bit. So I'm just trying to darken up the foundation. I'm going in with a flat top blending brush or dome brush and just adding this foundation all over my face. I've only used one layer of it and it covered up my blemishes pretty well. So now I'm just going to highlight using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Fawn underneath my eyes, along my chin, down the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on the center of my forehead. And I'm going to go in and blend that out with a damp beauty blender. You're just going to want to do patching motions all underneath your eye. Blend that up onto like the high points of your cheek. And yeah, just make sure you're blending everything out really well so you won't have any lines of demarcation. And then from here, I'm just going to go ahead and blend it down on my nose and on my forehead as well. So make sure you blend, 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 ladies. Another trick that I have to make sure everything is blended, even better is I go back in with that foundation brush and I just blend everything out, especially along the lines, the outer edges of where I added the concealer, just to make sure everything is blending seamlessly. And then I'm going to set my under eye concealer and everywhere else using a mixture of the Sacha Buttercup setting powder and then also my Ben Nye powder in the shade Topaz. The Topaz shade just helps to, set my under eye the way that I feel like it should be set. So I'm not really getting a white cast if it's just with the Sacha Buttercup powder. It's just adding a little bit more color back to my face for my skin tone personally. And so from here, while everything is setting, I'm going in with my CoverGirl Ebony Bronzer and then this is actually a brush from Amazon, but another brush just good to fit right into my contour. And I'm just bronzing my face up or contouring my face. I'm not going to add any bronzer to my forehead because the lace that I have on, or the frontal that I have on, is a little far down on my forehead. So it makes it look a little smaller, so I don't want to make it even smaller by adding that bronzer. But I'm just sweeping away that Sacha Buttercup powder and the Topaz powder using a dome shaped fluffy brush. I added some face powder onto that brush as well just to help it blend even more. You're just going to make sure you sweep that powder away from your face like so. And so from here, what I'm going to do is add a highlight. I'm using the Ruby Kisses highlight in the color, my bad, Bronze Glow, I think it's called. And just a fluffy blush brush. I'm going to add that to the high points of my cheek, into the point or tip of my nose. And I'm adding Abu Dhabi lip or matte lip stain to my lips. I'm just going to go over that with the clear gloss. I should have added a liner, but it wasn't like in my reach, like near to me, so I just skipped the liner this time. But you guys can definitely add a liner if need be. And you see here I'm just going over with that clear gloss. And yeah, so that's pretty much the full look. Let me know in the comment section below, ladies, if you like this. And until then, I'll see you in my next video. Bye.